What is up guys, Andy Forrestine Runner here, and today I'm delighted to be talking all things UNIVED, in particular the Elite Recovery Mix and the Elite Gels. So welcome back to another video, and I'm absolutely delighted today, as I said, to be talking all about the brand UNIVED and of course in particular their Elite Recovery Mix and their Elite Gels. Today I want to be going through with you guys how I've been using the products over the last week or so, how I've been testing them out, my thoughts on them and how I foresee myself using these things in the future, and of course would I recommend them to you. All of that is going to be covered today. If you're excited for this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and without further ado, let's dive in. So just before we dive into talking a little bit more about these UNIVED products and how I've been using them over the past week and a bit, let me extend a massive thank you to UNIVED themselves for sending me out these products to test. I actually reached out to UNIVED and asked if I could test their products. Nutrition for me is something that I'm really looking to get a little bit more dialed into over the next 12 to 18 months. For a lot of you guys that watch the channel and know some of the races I have, I do suffer with gut issues, and I know a lot of it is linked to some of the products that I end up putting in my stomach. Some of the gels I just don't agree with, and I'm looking for a brand that hopefully is going to solve those problems. The fact that they say on the back of all their products, inspired by nature and based on research, is a very reassuring thing. They are vegan, they are gluten-free, and that ticks all the boxes for me. So a massive thank you once again to UNIVED. So, how have we been using these products? Well, let's start with the recovery mix. I've been using this all bar one run. I've had it after every single run. So I've had 5 or 6 sachets now, and I wanted to get a good batch of this in my system. And the reason I wanted to do that, rather than just having one and then giving you my thoughts on how amazing it tastes, because it does taste absolutely amazing, is that I've used previous sports recovery powders in the past, and I can have one shake and have a couple of shakes back to back or on one workout and then a couple of days later, and the more that I seem to have of their products, the more my stomach doesn't seem to enjoy them. I get gut issues. It's really not a pleasant experience. So I wanted to have the product and test it kind of in anger, shall we say, putting lots of it into my system to kind of see how my stomach reacts to it, see if it was good as I hoped it would be. So that has been the last week and a half, and I can confirm it has been absolutely phenomenal. I would have this for morning, lunch and dinner if I could. The taste is incredible. In terms of the gels, I wanted to give these a good test. I wanted to test them twice ideally if I could. So I ended up using them on my midweek workout last week, which ended up being 10 miles at marathon pace, or 10 miles at marathon pace heart rate. Just to give you some perspective, I was training 18-week training block for a marathon back in April. I haven't done a marathon since then, and I now have one in 3 weeks' time, and I'm just trying to quickly sort of tune up and see if the legs have still got any distance left in them. I'm going to that marathon just to enjoy myself and have some fun, but ultimately I need to make sure that I can run the distance as well. So we did that in the week, and then on the weekend I had a 2.5 hour long run planned. It ended up being 2 hours 45 minutes, and I ended up being able to test the berry, the vanilla sea salt, and of course the choco fudge gel on that long run. I ended up trying all of them, and I wanted to give these things a really good test. I wanted to give them a test over a long run. I kind of had a good feeling after the midweek run when I tried it, but again I tried to refrain myself from making a video then because I wanted to give them a couple of goes just to make sure that my stomach felt good, my stomach was happy, and my body reacted really well to it. And once again they delivered absolutely fantastic. I managed 23 miles in the end. I went for 2 hours 45. I just felt so good. I ended up doing alternating miles. I was running my quicker miles if I was on the downhills at 550 mile pace, anywhere on the uphills up to 630 mile pace. It was incredible. It was such a great run. I felt brilliant. These things fueled me perfectly to the point where I got to 2 hours 30 and I just carried on because I felt so good. The cool down just extended and extended and extended. And I got to 2 hours 45 and thought, you know what, I better stop. I better not take this a little bit too far. So I ended up covering 23.2 miles or something. It was a great, great day. So I wanted to get a good couple of tests in these things before I gave you my thoughts. So whilst I give you my final thoughts on the products and if I'm going to be using them moving forward, what I'd just like to do is pop some information on screen whilst I'm talking about that specific product, give you some more nutritional information. Ultimately, UNIVED pride themselves on their research and development. They put a lot of time and energy into their products, and I can tell you that I can definitely feel like that is the case. The information that I've been provided just on the packets and the information they provide you in general is brilliant, it's phenomenal, and it just makes you feel a little bit more like they're going that extra step to care about the runners. So in terms of the recovery mix, I put that information on screen now. What do I think about it? I think it's the best thing I've ever tried. I think I literally, as I said to you in the beginning, I could live on this stuff. It's so nice. The danger there is that I could just drink more of it than I need. Not that I would do, but the vanilla flavour for me is absolutely fantastic. And then of course we have the Choco Turmeric Latte flavour, which I'm not going to lie, because this is an unbiased review, when I ripped the top off and started pouring it in, the powder did not smell that appealing. I was a little bit concerned, but when I put the water in, mixed it all up and drank it, again, it blew my mind. It was such a nice flavour, and actually I've got to be honest with you, this is my preference over the vanilla, which I really didn't think it would be. They are literally just some of the best recovery shakes I've tried. So if I could give these things a rating, 100%, it would be a 10 out of 10. Absolutely just, oh, so good. So how did we get on with the gels? Well, I'm just going to say it hands down now, I wouldn't have run 23 miles if it wasn't for these things. A couple of points to note, I think. Number one, they pack a punch. The flavour is flavoursome, full flavour. There's nothing weak about these gels. This berry flavour tastes like berry. The vanilla sea salt is to die for. It is absolutely amazing. The Choco Fudge, my least favourite of the gels, if I'm honest with you. Chocolate is not something personally for me that I'm going to be looking to try and take on in a marathon. For me personally, if I was using these in an ultra marathon, I think it would be exactly what I want at that time. For the longer races that I've run in the past, I definitely crave that sort of flavour more. But whilst I'm racing hard and racing fast, I want something a little bit more sugary and sweet. That's just my taste buds. I know a lot of people don't. I know there's a lot of people watching this that would prefer that one, but that's just my honest opinion. This is a bog standard, well, it's not a bog standard, there's nothing bog standard about these, but this is what I would call as a normal gel. This has more electrolytes in it and this has caffeine in it. So I had this at number 1, I had the electrolytes at number 2 as I was about halfway through the run, just to get the salt back into my system as I was sweating profusely, and then the caffeine at the end to give me that little push on. And I've got to say that order worked really well. So if you like flavoursome gels, which these are, then these are absolutely fantastic. And these ones in particular, the elite ones, I think they're a bigger packet. I think UNIVED do have some smaller gels. But these things are actually 190 calories. Now, why I love this is because I need a lot of calories. I'm 6'6", okay, so I burn a lot of calories and I struggle over longer distances to get calories in. I found it very easy to have these gels. They're a very liquidy type texture. There's nothing thick about them. They're not like goo gels, as some people say. That, and I've never had goo, so I'm just going on what other people say, but where you tear it open and they're very thick consistency. These are not. These are nice, and for me, nice and a bit more fluid, a bit more liquidy, so I can kind of have a couple of mouthfuls, rest on it for half a mile, have another couple of mouthfuls, rest on it for half a mile, because that's how I like to take my gels. I don't like to chug a gel in one go. I like to take it in sections, and for me, they worked absolutely perfectly. So in terms of preference, if I could give you my top 3 in an order, it's got to be the vanilla sea salt fudge. Very close, vanilla sea salt, very closely followed by the berry blast, and then finally the choco fudge. So in terms of if I recommend them, 100%. So would I recommend the UNIVED products to you guys? 100%, yes, I would. I absolutely love them. I've got to be honest with you, these gels got me through that 23-mile long run on the weekend, and I'm putting my confidence in them, so much so that in 3 weeks' time, these are going to be my fuel of choice for the Abingdon Marathon. And for me, that's quite a big thing to say, because I have never tried any other gels other than SIS, and they do give me stomach issues. I seem to be able to survive just about if I slow down, deep breathe. But if you ask anyone I run with, Lee, James, I always get stitches whenever I'm fueling. It's so frustrating, and I'm delighted that when I finished my 23-mile long run after having these gels, my stomach felt amazing. And that's a real positive and a confidence boost. And I think as a runner, it allows you to be a bit more free rather than having this constant worry in your head of, is my stomach going to cramp up? Am I going to get any issues? After the first gel, it was just like, have I even had a gel? This is incredible. Like, my stomach feels great. So 100% these things are fantastic. I believe on the UNIVED website you can get smaller versions of these. These elite gels, as I said, 190 ml. So there's a lot of stuff in here. For me, that's great with the calories. You can get smaller ones. And the recovery mix, to die for. I mean, this stuff, like if I could recommend anything, these things are just mind-blowing. I could live on them. And I accredit my 5k PR that I got on Wednesday night to these things. 16:50. I haven't broken anything under 17:21, and I go up to a 5k and I smash a 16:58. Now you might be wondering why. Why would I accredit this recovery product to that? Well, I ran the Swindon Half Marathon on Sunday. I did an easy run on Monday. I did a 10-mile marathon pace workout, which ended up being 6:20 to 6:25 average pace, minute per mile, on the Tuesday night. So I did that, and then on Wednesday night I went out and I ran a 5k PR. I mean, like, if I hadn't have been taking my recovery seriously, my legs would have been absolutely trash. The second I walked through the door, I'm having this stuff within 5-10 minutes, and I'm noticing a monstrous difference in how my legs are feeling the next day. So I cannot recommend this highly enough. And as I said, in terms of flavours, this one just pips it to the post. So there we go, that's my thoughts on the UNIVED products. I'm delighted to say that I am certainly going to be ordering more products of theirs to try. There's loads more stuff they have on their website. I will leave a link to their website in the description below. And once again, a massive thank you for UNIVED for sending me these products out. As I said, they have not paid me to make this review in any way, shape or form. I am just feel privileged and delighted to be able to bring you my opinion on their products. So that's it from today. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, and of course do consider subscribing to the channel for weekly running content, and I will see you next time. Until then.